hanging, guys? Aaron from PhoneDog.com here, and I'm here with an epic dogfight, just of epic proportions. One, I have the Samsung Galaxy S2, and I have the Samsung Infuse 4G, and they're both awesome. What? Oh, it's not Sean Connery Appreciation Day? It's next Monday. That's embarrassing. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. In that case, I'm here with two awesome Samsung devices, the Galaxy S2 and the Samsung Infuse 4G. This one's not available in the US just yet. It's coming hopefully in the summer to some of the carriers, but the Infuse 4G is available with AT&T. Dual core over here, single core over here, but both have awesome specs. This one's a little bit cheaper, whereas the Galaxy S2 is pretty expensive. Which one's the one to have? We're going to figure it out more in the dogfight, but first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy. They've hooked us up with a couple of smartphones that we're giving you in the One Paw Bandit game, so when you go into Best Buy Mobile to buy a device, you walk out working. You get your browser set up, your email set up, and more, so you're taken care of when you walk out the door. But enough of that. I want to highlight some of the apps that come pre-installed on both of these. Now obviously you have your carrier branded device over here, and this one isn't carrier branded, so you're not going to see any AT&T programs or anything like that over on the Galaxy S2. But let's take a look. You see typical Android stuff, clock, music, internet, etc. Then you get down here to Samsung's 4 hub applications. This is something they announced at Mobile World Congress. Social Hub, Music Hub, Readers Hub, and Game Hub, and just like they sound, they're hubs that are isolated towards one particular type of content, you know, music, readers, games, whatever. But you can click on one. I actually haven't set up Game Hub, so we'll go into it and see here. Powered by Mobage. And then while that's loading, we'll go over here and take a look at some of the AT&T stuff. Code Scanner, Family Map, typical Android stuff, Live TV, My AT&T, YP Mobile. And that looks to be it. Now the good thing about this one, this is the first device out of the box where you can sideload applications. AT&T has opened that up, and they're in the process of opening it up to their other Android devices as well. But if you were looking for one out of the box, the Infuse 4G is the first one to support sideloading of applications. Now unfortunately, if you don't like Live TV, you don't like Family Map, you don't like Code Scanner, Navigator, anything like that, you can't uninstall those. So kind of a frustration if you want that extra space, and that's taking too long to load. But you get the idea. All Share, Keys, Kai's Air, Voice Recorder, Voice Command, Samsung Apps, BBC iPlayer. And this one's kind of funny because this device I brought in from Expansis USA, and this is obviously a European build. If you went back to my unboxing, you can see that's a European-based charger. So it's the European version of the UK version, rather, of the Galaxy S2. And you can go into something like BBC iPlayer, for example, and you can see the British influence there with the UR. But we'll go into Young, Rich, and House Hunting, for example, and you'll see BBC iPlayer is only available within the United Kingdom. So some of the apps in this device don't work out of the box. And then here's some stuff that I've pre-installed as well. Polaris Office, that's a nice touch, and then Samsung Suggests, and then Samsung Apps. So a few Samsung applications pre-installed, nothing too crazy. Then you get the Samsung stuff over here like Media Hub, in addition to the typical AT&T stuff. Now Media Hub, this is something that's still very popular in the States. The 4 hubs on the Galaxy S2 haven't obviously made it to the US just yet, but this is what you're going to see if you're in the States. Media Hub on the Infuse 4G. You can rent, you can buy movies, and more. So we'll go into, let's do movie. Actually, let's wait for this to load. You'll see some movie titles start to pop up here. You can rent for somewhere, if I remember right, it's like $3.99 to rent, $17.99 to own. So it's not cheap. The prices are pretty expensive. Go to Never Say Never by Justin Bieber, because he's a never say never, I will fight till forever. That's the best impersonation I have. Rent for $3.99, own for $17.99. Whenever you got me down, I will. Sorry. Watch preview, and you can see summary and actors and directors. So you get some information about the movie. You can own it. You can rent it. It's a little pricey, but that's the price you pay, at least right now, to get content on your mobile device. Now to jump back to widgets, I do want to show you one quick thing, and we'll compare some of the widgets that come on this device. So, or these two devices. So you see on the Infuse, you get some Samsung stuff like Buddies Now, Days, Dual Clock. You see, let's go down here and take a look. Social Updates, which is kind of a social aggregator between Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. And then down here, you have a bunch of different options. AccuWeather.com out of the box, Agenda, AP Mobile, Bookmark, Buddies Now, Month Agenda Today. So not only do you get a calendar version, you know, where you can just look at the calendar, but you get the agenda version and the today version. So a lot of choices. And then you'll see with Classic Clock, or with clocks rather, you get classic, simple, unique, and modern. You get days and several types of digital clocks. and more. So a lot of different choices, mini paper. So they've really upped their game when it comes to apps. You know, TouchWiz, one of my complaints was always, it's like 2 applications that are two widgets rather, that are not Google related or, you know, something I've downloaded. So it's nice to see more power settings, program monitor, voice, Yahoo Finance, and more. So quite a few pre-installed out of the box, which is always a nice benefit. Let's take a look at the cameras on both of these devices before we jump into the speed test, and you can see both have 8 megapixel cameras. So we'll go down here into the camera, and we'll bring in a third device. Let's just say the T-Mobile G2X, because I want to get a focus on that logo up the top. And you can see that this one has the Samsung customized, it's not stock Android, it's the Samsung customized camera interface that you can see with the ability to change the settings down here. Go through self-shot, shooting mode, scene modes, and more. I can flip the camera to the front-facing shooter. Or I can turn the flash on and off that way. So let's go through the logo here, see if I can get it focused in. Was not focused. Let's see if we can autofocus it again. Nope. There we go. And, you know, the frustration for me, you know that I like my physical camera button. None of these devices have physical camera buttons anymore, so don't really care for that. But you can see here T-Mobile logo. You can see the fingerprints. Looks like a pretty clean picture. Looks good. Colors look good. Not too saturated. Flash kind of blew the white balance off. But go back here into this one and take a look as well. So a little bit of a different interface, even though it's Samsung interface. This is TouchWiz 3.0. Click the little button. I can flip between video camera and camcorder, or between the camera and the camcorder, flash, flip the camera to the front, change some balance stuff, settings, and more. So let's go into focus on that. That didn't quite do it. And bam, there it is. And we'll go in here and take a look. Now it's on the stock Android viewer, as you can see. And so we can go in here and take a look. Very, very good looking. I'd have to give the camera battle, at least in my opinion, I think the Infuse 4G, just off this unofficial test, the Infuse 4G takes a better picture. Still, when I've been outside, they both take great pictures. I think you'd be happy with either one. But on the camera front, probably going to have to give it to the Infuse 4G, because that's a pretty darn good looking picture. The differences between 3.0 and 4.0 aren't just aesthetics, you know, and they aren't just icon differences or minor things like what we were talking about with the widgets or the way the home screens work. There's some differences in the applications as well. We'll take a look at phone on both of these devices just so you can see what the differences are. Now you can see keypad, logs, contacts, favorites with a U up here, and then you can see groups over there as well, whereas this one just has keypad, logs, favorites, and contacts, spelled in the American way, favorites. But you can see the island keypad looks relatively similar here with your rows of keys, and then down here you have a little bit of a difference. Call button, video call, messaging, and back, as opposed to voicemail, call, and back down here. So a little bit of a difference, but you just see these little subtle changes like this throughout TouchWiz 4.0. It's just a better designed to overlay as opposed to 3.0. It just looks better and is just very, very, very clean in comparison to this, which to me I get the impression that it's kind of blocky and not all the way done, or just it never felt complete to me, whereas 4.0 does feel like a legitimate overlay. I mean, it looks to me, you know, I rate them as Sense. Now that I've played with 4.0, I rate it as HTC Sense is still my favorite, but TouchWiz 4.0, close second right here, in front of Moto Blur and in front of some of the other overlays on the market. Let's take a look at Quadrant Standard, run the speed test, not YouTube, and go to Quadrant Standard on both of these, run the speed test, and see what happens. We'll run the full benchmark on both so you can get an idea. Now, call quality's been very good. You know, like I said, this one's running AT&T as well. So call quality's been great. The Samsung Galaxy S2 supports AT&T's 3G and 4G bands, but it doesn't support T-Mobile's 1700 megahertz AWS band. So if you're putting a T-Mobile SIM card in, you're a T-Mobile customer, you really want this device, it's going to serve you better to wait for something like the HTC Sensation or perhaps the Galaxy S2 variant, which has been rumored for T-Mobile. So keep that in mind. No 3G, no 4G, edge only in terms of data on the Galaxy S2 on T-Mobile, but it does support it on AT&T. Call quality's been very good. This has one of the best RF performances of any device I've used on AT&T, just behind the iPhone in my opinion. Call quality's fantastic. I get 2 bars where I get 0 with other things, or with other AT&T devices. It's been very, very good. So benchmark result on the Infuse sending them in, it's 1,087. So 1,087 on quadrant standard. And keep in mind, take it with a grain of salt. This doesn't necessarily impact day-to-day performance, but you can see 1,087 here. And then over here you can see 2,980, which is actually the slowest I've seen the Galaxy S2. Usually it's 3,200 to 3,500. So you can see how much it blows the Infuse out of the water. Now again, day-to-day tasks, you're probably not going to notice the difference. You're checking your email, you're browsing the web. Yeah, you don't really need the dual-core processor. Where you will notice it's in gaming. So on to speed test now. We'll take a look and see. Even though both of these are running AT&T, we'll just take a look and see which one comes in at the top. So we'll go in here, bam, we're going to restart the test, and we're going to take a look. Now, network speeds have been relatively decent. Like I said, AT&T service isn't that great in my home office, but I will say between the two, I've found that I've been more impressed with the Galaxy S2. Now, as I say that, it doesn't look like it's quite holding up to what I just said. You can see we're at about 2.6 megabits per second over here, whereas we're at like 0.31 over here. So, obviously, it didn't work that time. That's one specific network test, but I've been very pleased with the Galaxy S2 network speeds overall when I'm out of my home office. It doesn't seem to work very well here. So we can take a look here on the Infuse 4G, 2.61 megabits per second, upload of 0.21 megabits per second. And then over here on the Galaxy S2, 0.31 megabits per second, upload 0.35 megabits per second. So it's, both running AT&T, interesting to see the number changes, quite interesting. And I've seen it rotate between the two. Sometimes the Galaxy S2 is better, sometimes the Infuse is better. But that's the dogfight. Now I have to declare a winner, and the winner in terms of performance, in terms of just overall package, goes to the Galaxy S2. It's a fantastic device. Dual core is where it's at. The processor's fast. The camera's great as well. 8 megapixel camera and more. So it's got everything that you need in the device. The downside is $750 if you want to buy it and bring it into the States. No subsidies from any carrier in the States just yet. There's rumors that it's coming, but it's not here just yet. This one, on the other hand, the Infuse 4G, still a great device. My favorite Android smartphone on AT&T, and it's only $200. So something to keep in mind, relatively inexpensive in comparison to this. Excuse me, but 8 megapixel camera as well, well equipped, nice big 4.5-inch display. So if you're looking for something, you want to stick with one of the carriers, this may be your device, but in terms of dogfight champions, the Galaxy S2 wins it. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices, Galaxy S2 and the Infuse 4G. Many more dogfights planned, so keep it locked on the site, and be sure to like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away iPad 2s, smartphones, and more as part of our colossal iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron. Any thoughts, comments, questions? You think this is the clear winner? You think I'm crazy? That's the one that should have won? Let me know. Twitter.com/PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.